On today's episode, we have a special guest, the CEO of ThinkReservations, Richard. And we knew his story was compelling, but it's actually more interesting than I realized. You're going to love this episode. If you're looking for a PMS, this is the episode for you. Stay tuned till the end. He drops a really, really awesome tid point there. And he is also a fellow EOS entrepreneur. So we're super excited to bring today's episode, and we hope you enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of Virtual GM. Today we have a special guest with us. We've got the CEO from ThinkReservations, Richard, and I'm so excited to jump in this conversation about PMS, the future of hospitality, Richard's background, and we've got a great story we can share as to how we started our relationship with Richard.
Totally. Yeah, Richard, welcome to the Virtual GM podcast. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me, Spencer and Cody. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So, we always start our podcast with a segue, and then we'll get into some fun stories because we really met Richard completely by accident.
The story's great.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. So I can start with a segue. For those who have listened, our segue is one personal win, one business win through the week. So I'll go, then Cody, and then Richard. So personal, I'm leaving in about 45 minutes to Portland. I've never been to Portland. Very excited. I'm staying at the Porter in downtown.
Hilton Curio. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Shout out to Hilton. Yep. Also, this episode is sponsored by Sean Cannell. Just throwing that out there too. Shout out Sean. That's a joke that we say Richard is not really sponsored by Sean. You've stayed at that hotel, haven't you? At the Porter?
I have. The Porter's awesome. Perfect location. They've got this great rooftop restaurant, super cool vibe in the lobby. Great. I mean, the food there is awesome. You're going to love it.
I'm excited. Now I have the Aspire card, so that gives me the diamond. I was super excited about that. And then business, we just got verbal confirmation that we're moving forward with that hotel in Illinois.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So shout out to Dustin and to Renee. They have the coolest property out in Shelbyville, Illinois.
Another state for vibrance. Super exciting.
Yeah, growing across the state. So those are my wins this week.
Okay, so I just completed a 10-day cleanse. So I did a parasite cleanse.
Wild.
So for the last 10 days, I only ate fruit. That's it. I can only eat organic fruit, and I could have.
And didn't you puree some soups too?
I did twice. Yeah, so you could puree soup because the main thing was like give your digestive tract a break, right? And so I could have soup as long as it's pureed. I did that twice when I just felt like I needed something that wasn't fruit.
Yep.
And then you had to drink a gallon of distilled water, and it was amazing. I highly recommend everyone doing it. It's terrifying to see the parasites that live inside of you. I won't get into it any more than that, but just
thank God.
Everyone, please do a cleanse. It's important. Shout out to Aaron here in Southern Utah. If you're interested, reach out. I'll hook you up.
Totally.
And then for business, one of my to-dos on our scorecard every week is to make sure that our AP is diminished as low as possible. Mm-hmm. And we got our last invoice of the month paid on Friday. So our AP is currently, or AR, I'm sorry, is currently at 0. So that's
a huge win. That's great.
Love to see it.
You know, I just realized in this moment, we should have switched places.
Why?
I got the black on black. You got the white on white.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops. Oh, well.
Next time.
Yep.
Okay, Richard, what about you? What's your segue?
So for me, my personal good news is that 2.5 months ago, my fiance, Victoria, and I, we had a baby girl.
Hey,
congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. Every day for me is basically a personal best when I see her smiling. You know, I remember her first smile. And when I saw that, it was as if all my problems just disappeared. And I've never felt more present than that moment. So I'm really happy with that.
Congratulations, man. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our first child. And it is quite such an amazing experience.
It really is. There's nothing like it.
I have projected what it would feel like. And we waited a little longer to have kids. But I wish I knew what it was like.
Were you scared?
Incredible experience.
Like, was it nerve-wracking for you before?
It was nerve-wracking for me, not so much before, because I am the type of person to research and
of course
that checks out.
Go into it.
Yeah.
However, it was nerve-wracking going through all of it because I could not have prepared myself enough. The process for delivering, and then everything that comes after the baby being there is something that happens a lot in the moment. And it's hard to describe. I'm so happy with it.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And your business?
And then for business, good news. My team and I, we just met up for the first time since COVID. We did a company on site.
Oh, awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah. We booked out an entire boutique hotel in Saratoga Springs. The hotel is called Saratoga Arms. We brought all 30 employees from across the US, and we finally got to see each other again. It was really incredible to do so because we haven't seen each other for 3 years. So even the older employees felt like they were meeting a lot of people for the first time. So really great experience. Happy to have done that. We also do EOS, the Entrepreneur.
Hey, so do we.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, as soon as I heard you talk about rocks and to-dos, we were in the same way.
Love it.
That's so cool. Shout out to EOS.
Our state of company meeting there as well, and we got ready for a new quarter, and we are just doing everything we can to gain traction and move things forward.
Oh man, that is so cool. Yeah, we did our state of the company last week too.
We sure did. Yeah. In fact, you know what's so funny about that? One of our rocks is actually why we're doing this podcast, and another one is why we're doing this podcast with you.
Yep.
So just on that story, our first rock was that we wanted to make a podcast.
Yeah.
And so
I thought Spencer was crazy when he said that, because I didn't know he had that in his mind.
Yeah.
And then we're just going over our rocks. He's like, I'm going to start a podcast for Vibrant. And I was like, that's impossible, dude.
And here we are now. And then, so the podcast we just used to shoot on our iPhones, and they were bad, but we gave good information.
Better than not doing it.
Correct. Yeah, way better than not doing it. And then another rock was that we wanted to establish a strategic partnership with several PMS companies or someone in the independent space. And so we had listed Think, WebRes, and Stash Rewards. And so we have successfully completed, I can't speak for WebRes.
Yeah.
But ThinkReservations, here we are on the podcast with yourself and Stash. They actually flew out to Southern Utah, and we took them on a property tour. And so we've established those. So EOS is a big credit to why we're here, which is so cool.
100%.
I love that you guys do that.
Yeah, the thing I like about EOS so much is that it sets intent and it sets deliverables.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you intend to do something and you have deadlines for those things, then you can start to get traction.
Well, and transparency too, right? Because everyone knows what you're working on. So instead of being like, because I remember thinking as we were like growing and you hit those growing pains in a company, we were all like in these individual silos, and we all individually knew what we were working towards, but we didn't collectively know. Right. And so now we're a team versus just like all these individuals moving forward. So what I'd love to do is get into the story as to how we built a relationship with Think, because it's quite funny. So the first thing is there's a million good PMSs, right? And the one that we had always used and the one that we switched everyone to was WebRes, who we still love. And we had signed Sweetwater in Florida, and they were a ThinkReservations property. And we told them, we move everyone to WebRes. We're going to put you on WebRes. And they were okay with that. And so we started that process, and they hated it.
It ruined, and hated us.
Yeah, and it ruined everything, because then they did hate us because they hated WebRes.
Totally.
And right, so not every PMS is right for everyone, and that's totally okay.
And we did not understand why, because we had put WebRes up on this pedestal.
Because it was all we knew.
That was all we knew, right?
And so we were like, oh my gosh, like they think Think's better. Like, give me a break, you
These
know?
guys,
like,
come on.
And so then we're like, all right, we'll put you back on Think, like, because it's not worth like your frustration. And it's like, we thought like, whatever, you're blowing it, but okay, we'll do that. Then we had another property in Kanab, the Canyons, who had 2 properties on Think. And we said, we're going to move you to WebRes. And so we moved into WebRes. Yep. And then they also hated us. And we're like, okay, so there must be something about Think that is amazing.
Right.
Because now we have had this obstacle twice, 3 times really.
Yeah, right.
And so let's figure out what the hell is so great about Think, because we must not know something. Right. And that's how you connected with Richard.
Yeah. So then we had moved these 2 properties back to Think, right? And we had reached out to someone on their support team because we wanted to install the return on ad spend tracker through the Google Tag Manager and the Think system.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to do that. Not that it was hard. We just were new to the PMS.
Yeah.
And so we reached out, and I don't know the Think side of the story, but Leah got on that call And really, it was just for Leah to learn how to do that, right? And she texted me and she's like, get on this call. The CEO of ThinkReservations is on this call. And I was like, hold on, hung up on the call that I was on, jumped into that call. And I was like, be honest with me. You're not just like talking to Vibrant Management as the CEO of ThinkReservations. Like, really? And he's like, Richard's on the call and he's like, oh, yeah. Also, what's up with you guys moving properties off our system?
I'd love to connect it. And
Let's hear that side of the story. Yeah.
So it's a rare event that we churn customers, and the most typical reason we churn is if a new owner takes over the business or a new property takes over the business, and they just have existing relationships and they want to move. So when our account manager realized that there was a meeting that was going to happen with you all, and we were well aware about the Canyons collection moving off, and also Sweetwater Branch Inn moving off, she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm going to have an opportunity to speak with Vibrant Management. Do you want to get on the call?
Oh, wow. We were like, the villains. Amazing. So you jumped on.
Yeah, I jumped on, and I was able to give you a little more information about why Sweetwater Branch Inn wanted to come back to ThinkReservations. Typically, a lot of customers that churn in that way, most of them end up coming back to ThinkReservations, and they do that for a few reasons. One is how simple ThinkReservations is to use. We frequently tell people that you can train your front desk in less than an hour. And in this type of industry, with the way jobs are turning over, it's important to be able to train your front desk quickly and confidently so that they can be successful.
What a powerful statement.
Ease of use is a really big thing and a big reason why customers love ThinkReservations. And the second thing is people. Our support staff, the way that we interact with our customers is at a high level of service and support. We know that our customers provide great customer service to their guests, and they expect the same. And so a lot of our staff members have hospitality industry experience. They've all either worked at hotels, owned their own businesses. We have employees that have gone to hospitality school. And so when you work with ThinkReservations, you're also getting that different level of service and support. And then the last thing I'd say is just the booking engine and the guest experience tools. It's so easy for guests to interact with your business that increases conversion rates.
What's funny is I have a different perspective too, because my wife, Megan, is who puts properties on whatever PMS we're going to use.
Right.
And then so she deals with that like frustration of, and so she comes to me and she goes, I will never move another property off of Think. And I said, we already collectively as a company have made that decision that if someone is on Think, we will never move them again.
No, absolutely not. And now as we've started to get to know you and your team and just the ease of use is so true for our properties and then also us as a management company, that we're starting to make it as a recommendation. And instead of saying like,
now we have choices.
Yeah. Instead of just saying, we're going to convert you from whatever you were on to only WebRes. Now we're able to say, actually, there's this really great program called Think. And here's all the reasons that maybe you should be using this too. And so now we have multiple options. And of course, as we're fostering a relationship with you, like we're starting to build our own property now. So it's like now we can start to include that in the matrix. Yeah. Right. And so it's been this really cool transition from only worshiping WebRes Pro, which is because what we knew.
Yeah.
And now moving into a ThinkReservations relationship.
And one thing that was cool too for people who are on the back end, so management side, is that when we did this, I remember you and Leah coming to me and being like, oh my God, the dashboard for
it's amazing.
ROI is amazing, right? Because one of the most difficult things to quantify is what are your ads really doing, right? Totally. And that's the most important thing for us where we operate. You know, we're a little bit different of a management company where we don't just manage, we also are a marketing company as well. And so we've got this unique ability to be in both sides. And so it's really important to us to display return for our clients. And we like to tell them, you know, we will absolutely get you a minimum of 5 times return on your ad spend, but we can only validate that if we've got the data to show them.
Right.
And your guys' dashboard and ability to reflect results is absolutely incredible. And also right now, our Think properties are getting the highest return on ad spend. I think the aggregate return on ad spend for I think properties right now is north of 20%. So that means if they're spending $1,000 on ads, we are returning them $20,000 in revenue. That's the aggregate average from our Think properties. And I think it has to do with like the integration with Google Hotel ads, the ease of use, the ease of conversion, and the trackability of it all.
Yep.
I believe that. Years ago, a marketing company, marketing company,
we know them.
Yeah, we know Q4 Launch.
They don't like us. We're their villains.
We're not
too.
afraid to talk about competitors. Q4 Launch, if you're listening, what's up?
What's cracking?
Yeah, so years ago, Q4 Launch did a study of their own, and they compared property management systems and the return on investment for property management systems, and ThinkReservations was clear and above every other property management system in that list. And so I when I hear your story, it reflects all the stories I hear from customers. When they switch to ThinkReservations, they sell more reservations, sell more items, and sell more packages. It's because of what we do and how we do it.
I love that.
Agree. Yeah.
What's funny is you are to WebRes as we are to Q4. Anyone who goes to Q4 comes back, and anyone who's on Q4 comes to us.
Totally. Yeah. What's so funny is we have managed a hotel on like Little Hotelier, Res Nexus, and then even in some capacities, WebRes. Cloud beds. The worst one of all time is TravelClick. Brutal. I'm just going to throw that out there, and hopefully they take that as some constructive criticism.
TravelClick, if you're listening, what's up?
What's cracking?
I do just want to put this out there that we do have a good relationship with WebRes Pro. We know Frank and the team there.
Yeah, we love WebRes.
Yeah, WebRes is great. We think they're awesome.
The hospitality ocean is plenty big for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's ever growing too, right? But with a lot of these PMS systems, the problem is like you almost have to like put your finger in the wind, and try and be like, are the Google ads working?
Yeah, I think we converted someone.
Let me call up and ask them, right? And Think has really solved the problem of, number one, having a customer service that is able to say, here is all the steps to complete your return on ad spend. Even like helped us write some of the code to put it in and did it. And it was done inside of an hour, right? And I love WebRes Pro. I think it's great. I love ThinkReservations, amazing. I can tell you that we have been asking for that same request since day one of me working here.
Yep.
And it is not able to be completed in that system, right?
Yeah.
But how fast Richard and his team were to fix that problem for us, just the way that they went above and beyond to provide us as a management company help for one of their properties was absolutely amazing.
Well, and also on the management side, your guys' ability to do revenue management and yields is also awesome.
Phenomenal.
Right? Because it's all built inside one. And so you don't need to have an additional tool.
Right.
Because it's really got so many components built in. But I would love to turn it over to you for a minute, Richard, and kind of tell your backstory, like why Think, how did you get into hospitality? What's your story?
Definitely. So I'm an electrical and computer engineer. Before starting ThinkReservations, I actually worked at Amazon.com. I had a great career there. I was there with Amazon for close to 5 years. And at that time, though, I remember when I first joined Amazon, that I always knew that I wanted to start my own business. I just didn't know what I wanted to do in that regard. And so it really took me 4.5 years. I found that it wasn't the right time or the right opportunity until I made it the right time and the right opportunity. 4.5 years into my career at Amazon, I decided that no matter what, I was going to start my own business. And I started opening up myself to the possibility of seeing what that business idea was. I took a trip to Puerto Rico with Victoria, and we checked into a boutique hotel there. I want to quickly add that at that time, I loved to travel and I loved staying at unique places. So I had a lot of experience with these types of businesses already. When I checked in, the general manager was checking me in, and I realized that when I made a reservation with them, that they didn't have an online booking engine. And off the cuff, without any preparation, I pitched the general manager the functionality for the booking engine.
That's amazing. What a dog. That's so cool.
I was able to do that by marrying the stuff that I wanted as a guest. Like I told you, I was interacting with these businesses a lot.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted from the guest perspective. And I was able to marry that with my experience at Amazon, learning what's important to guests when they shop online. And so the general manager liked what I had to say so much that he invited me to speak to the owner at the owner's house the very next day. So the very first day of my vacation is in this remote part of Puerto Rico that doesn't have any internet, so I can't do any market research.
Oh,
and
wow.
so that very first night, I take some paper and I draw it out by hand. I draw out the booking engine, exactly how it's going to work. And then I think about the property management system as well. I realize that I can't just provide the booking engine. I have to provide the system and the brain for the business. And that's the property management system. So I went to the owner's house the next day. I spoke with him for 2 hours. I walked him through. He was excited about everything that I had to talk to him about. And when I came back from this trip in Seattle, I knew what it was that I wanted to do. I did my market research for 2 more weeks. And
2 weeks.
It takes people years normally.
I wish my brain worked that fast.
I am the type, when I see the opportunity, I will jump into it.
That's
and
incredible.
Here I did see the opportunity.
How many hours do you think you slept?
That there's a lot
weeks?
of good property management systems out there. And I knew that when I started.
Yeah.
I also knew that there weren't a lot of great property management systems.
Totally.
And if I could focus on what would make us unique, I knew that this market was looking for more. And so 2 weeks after my market research, I decided this is what I was going to do. I went to my manager at Amazon and I gave him my 2-week notice. And the first thing he said was, "Richard, what do you want?" I paused and I told him that, the truth is that there's not going to be anything that he can give me, because I realized that for me, what's important is to start this business and help business owners find more success. And I felt that I could make a bigger impact this way. And so that was the day I started ThinkReservations. And from there, it's been this organic growth in business. I will say there were definitely a lot of milestones that were difficult. The first 3 years are always rough in a business, and you have to put yourself out there and take the chance. And we did that every single time we could. And we found our success. We found our market by listening to customers and building the things that they told us to build. We were able to build a product that worked for them. I had no hospitality experience when I started. I learned everything from customers and from those leads that would tell me no. Every time they told me no, I would learn why they didn't sign up, and we'd fix it. And then we talk to them again.
Wow.
That's incredible.
I love that. I think it's so interesting to hear you say that you didn't have any hospitality experience other than being a traveler, like we all start.
Yeah, because that's the same for both of us.
Both of us, yeah. In fact, I always say that those who find themselves deeply rooted in hospitality, like the three of us, always get there by accident, right?
Yeah.
And so it's so cool to hear you go to Puerto Rico and then you start pitching the front desk. What did anything transpire with that? Are they a Think property now? What was the end story of that?
Yeah. So I'm glad you asked. When I told you that I didn't have internet to do any market research, that meant that I also did not have any opportunity to look at pricing. And so I overpriced them. So as soon as I left that business and I got online and I did my research, I said, okay, price is an issue and I won't be surprised if it's a no. And when I came back to Seattle, it was a no. But it didn't matter because I had it wasn't the customer that I needed. It was the idea and the opportunity that I needed. And that flourished into ThinkReservations. And honestly, that's just another life lesson. I feel that business owners, if you're very entrepreneurial, you learn a lot of life lessons as you go on. And Cody, I know you wrote the book, Winning the Moment. I did read the introduction and skim through most of it, but I saw the similar pattern to that. It's like when there are so many life lessons that you have to be in tune with. And I find that business owners really learn from those life lessons and like to share them. And for me, I think the Puerto Rico customer telling me no is just a life lesson.
Yeah. No's lead to yeses, like you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't a door closing on me. Instead, I realized what was really valuable, and I found another door and I walked through it.
So I think a couple important things and a couple questions. First and foremost, thanks for the plug. Shout out to me. And then secondly, so you said like the first 3 years were hard. So I have two questions to that. How many years has Think been around now? And then what year did you start EOS?
Yeah, so we have been in business now almost 11 years.
Okay, wow.
Wow.
And we started EOS, I'd say, about 2 years ago.
Wow, so you're like on the exact same journey as us, basically.
Same timeline as us, yeah.
At first, we did it on our own by reading the book, and
I wanted to do that too because I'm frugal.
Cody's Mr. Krabs.
But then we hired a facilitator, and that has made everything so.
I totally agree. Our facilitator, shout out Craig Andrews,
amazing.
And I was really against it because we're so small, right? Like we weren't at our 11-year mark. We were very small and young, and it was a huge, like for us, such a huge financial commitment. And I was really hesitant to do so, and was like, I thought, let me just do it. Like, I'll go in. There's no way that someone in the business can execute it to the level of someone outside of the business because they're not emotionally attached. He's a great moderator. And now looking at it, because like we're done. So technically third quarter for us is the end of our agreement, but we already had agreed to like, we'll still do our annual with him. And now looking at it, even though it is this big financial commitment, I can't really imagine us doing it without him.
I know. I've actually been wondering that too.
Yeah.
I actually believe, and I'm of the mindset that we should keep having an implementer.
And Breck and I's last same page meeting, I said like, man, I really think we need Craig because I feel like what will happen otherwise is we'll have like our quarterly meeting and it'll be like, oh, you know what?
Everything's great.
Canyons actually needs us. And so we really should go there. Let's reschedule or everything's good right now. Like, I don't know that it's necessary, but when you have a meeting with an implementer that you're paying a significant amount of money, you're going to go do that meeting, right?
For sure.
And so
and be very invested in it.
Yes. So I'm really like right now feeling like, I don't know that we'll ever
I vote
yes.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we do.
And then so the last follow-up I have is I'm curious what your guys' purpose is. Like your purpose within the EOS ecosystem. What did you guys come up with?
Actually, let me open it up here.
Do we get to look at the VTO?
No. I'm not going to open up the VTO.
It's like, wow, we're giving away some big info here.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Are you like us? We took all of our EOS documents and put them online, and our implementer was like, how dare you do that?
Yeah, we made it ourselves.
Those are sacred.
We use an app called 90IO to manage our EOS VTO, our meetings, and all that. I know EOS has come out with their own product as well.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually at some point we'll switch, but right now we're really happy with 90. So for us, I'm going to tell you our purpose and our niche.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you'd share the niche, but I want both.
Yeah, the purpose is awesome.
Yeah. So our purpose is helping businesses succeed, and our niche is designing and building effective business solutions. And I'm really glad that you brought this up because my team recently asked me about it, and they said, Richard, is this too generic? Do we need to make it more specific? And I had that conversation with them, and my answer is the following. Like, when I look at this, helping businesses succeed, this purpose ties into our core values, where we put customers first. We're passionate about what we do, and we deliver results. And when we put our customers first and do the things that we need to do to help their business succeed, then that's how we're providing the most amount of value. That's also how we have grown in this industry. When you look at our 11-year journey, we grow when we help our customers grow. And so it really ties into who we are and what we do at a core level. And then the niche, designing and building effective business solutions, you could argue, should we have put the word technology in there? Should we have tied it into that part? And for, my response to that is that for our business, yes, technology is a huge component of it, but it's not the only component. There are ways that in just the way that we interact with our customers over the phone, providing support, helping them onboard, we are solving real business solutions for them. And so our niche isn't tied to technology. Of course, it includes technology, but it leaves us open enough to ask ourselves, what is actually the best way to help businesses succeed? We have a team of 30. We have all types of ability amongst the team. And I really want to make sure that everyone feels empowered to help drive the vision and move it forward.
That's amazing.
I love that.
I think, our time went by so fast. It's crazy. I think we might need to do a part 2.
I think so too.
With ThinkReservations and get into some more of the nitty gritty. But
I agree.
Before we let you go and get on with your Friday, anything you want to share with the audience? And what's the best way for the audience who's listening, if they're interested in Think, what's the best way for them to reach out to you guys and get a hold of you?
Definitely. The best way to reach out to us is definitely to go to our website and click the requested demo. You'll fill out a form there, and then we'll contact you within 24 hours. What I would want to say is, if you are focused around improving the guest experience at your business, if you're focused around driving more revenue and making it easier for your staff to operate and fulfill their job, then ThinkReservations is a great fit for you. We'd love to talk to you and show you how we can help your business, and we're always available.
Okay, before we let you go, one more question. Did you frame the drawing of the PMS that you made in Puerto Rico?
I did not, but I will tell you that the drawing on paper looks extremely similar to what we do with our booking engine with our customers. So
I love that.
For the most part, I was pretty spot on.
All right.
What an amazing story.
Richard, that was a great story. I loved it. It went by too fast. I think we might really need to do a part 2.
Yeah, I agree. I'll reach out to you, Richard. We'll schedule a part 2.
And we'll schedule a follow-up to talk more about BuyTech next week, okay?
Okay, definitely. Let's do that.
All right. Thanks, awesome. Richard. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Yes, thank you, Cody. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate it.
I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Tune in next week. We'll have another banger for you, and you guys have a great weekend.
See you guys.